Hello everyone, welcome to the DPB Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Mondes. This is episode number 213 for May 25th, 2021.
Welcome to the Disney Pins Blog Podcast, the latest news on Disney pin trading and collecting from around the world.
Welcome back to the show, everyone. Sorry I have been MIA on the podcast for a bit, but we have a lot of pin news to talk about today, so I figured perfect time to bring back the podcast. First, before we get into the pin news, I want to mention quickly for housekeeping that our May giveaway has ended, and congratulations to Kelsey in Idaho for winning the Wreck-It Ralph Loungefly pin set. And thanks to everyone who entered. We'll have a new giveaway coming up here in June. All right, so let's get into the pin news. Heavy week for Disney parks. A lot of new limited editions and open editions, so we'll get into that at the end. But first, we're going to start off with ShopDisney. They had a new Mickey and Friends pin trading starter set that just released. This includes a lanyard and 4 pins, and the theme of this set is My First. So you have a Stitch pin that reads My First Pin, a Mickey pin that reads My First Visit, an ear hat pin that says My First Ear Hat, and then a Minnie Mouse pin that says My First Ice Cream. That released on Monday, May 24th at ShopDisney.com with a retail price of $32.99. But this will be available in parks as well at Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Next up is new Marvel Studios Loki pin that released at Shop Disney. And this also appeared out at Disneyland. Hasn't arrived at Walt Disney World yet, but this is the Time Variance Authority logo pin. Limited release with a retail price of $15.99. And then last week at Shop Disney, there was a new pin release for the upcoming film Disney Pixar's Luca. This is limited release with a retail price of $15.99 as well. And this should be arriving at Disney parks. But right now, it's only at Shop Disney. All right, next up is Artland. They had 2 new limited edition pin releases. The first one featuring Big Hero 6. You have Baymax there deflating with Hero and his team around. And then there was a Wreck-It Ralph pin featuring Ralph and Vanellope. Both of those pins are limited edition of 125. Limited supply available at dbbstore.com. Next up is Loungefly. The Tuesday limited edition pin release features Ratatouille. You have Remy here holding the wooden spoon, cooking on the stove. It's limited edition of 1,000 with a retail price of $25. And also there was a new Pocahontas Funko Pop blind box pin set from Loungefly. 6 different pins featuring Pocahontas, Miko, and Flit. We did have those available at DPB Store, but I believe most of them are sold out at this time. Next up is Box Lunch. Last week I posted about the new Disney Princess profile pins. They were just released online today at the time of this recording, and Box Lunch is calling them stained glass pins. It's just the design of the background that's stained glass. It's not an actual stained glass piece. But the retail price is $9.90. There are 9 different pins in this collection featuring Cinderella, Aurora, Snow White, Mulan, Tiana, Jasmine, Belle, Ariel, and Pocahontas. There were a few other pin releases that just dropped at boxlunch.com. I don't have the blog posts up for them yet, but they will be coming soon. I did see some new Pride pins, I think a Lady and the Tramp pin, and a continuation of the Big Feet pins. All right, next up is Hot Topic, and they had a brand new blind box pin set, this one featuring Bambi. There are only 6 different pins in this set, 1 randomly selected per box with a retail price of $8.90. They feature Bambi, Flower, and Thumper. All right, next up is Disney Employee Center. They had an online pin release featuring Star Wars character clusters. Basically, there are 9 pins here, 1 featuring all of the 9 episodes. Limited edition of 250 with a retail price of $28.95 each. It was released on Monday, May 24th. But I heard 1 was delayed. I think A New Hope was delayed and didn't release until the next day on Tuesday. Those are cast member exclusives. And speaking of cast member pin releases, Mickey's of Glendale also had a release last week. First up was a Mickey and Friends Mystery Pin Collection. 2 randomly selected per box with a retail price of $22.95. 6 of the pins are limited edition of 300, and then there are 2 surprise chaser pins that are limited edition of 200. And then the most popular release were a continuation of the profiles. Genie, Fairy Godmother, the Three Fairies, Blue Fairy, and Yensid were all featured for the profile collection. Those are a limitation of $250 with a retail price of $19.95 each. Next up, I want to mention the pin releases at Disney Studio Store Hollywood that recently happened. Again, these are all sold out at this time, but for informational purposes, just wanted to let everyone know in case you want to trade for them or get them on the secondary market. There was a Cruella live action pin release. Those are limited edition of 400 and happened on Monday, May 17th. Then there was a surprise pin release for the Hero Sword and Banner Series 2 set. So this is a continuation of this series. It features Flynn Rider, Prince Eric, Prince Naveen, Beast, Kristoff, Robin Hood, Hercules, and Li Shang. Those are limited edition of 400, retail price $24.95. And then they had another surprise release. This one is called Endearing Moments, which features 6 pins here. This is almost like it should have been a Mother's Day pin release. These are limited edition of 400 with a retail price of $24.95 as well. All right, next up we're going to head over to Disneyland Paris. They aren't open yet, but are opening very soon. But they do have some new pin releases, I think, at their World of Disney store. That's where they're being released right now. The new open edition pins that released feature Cinderella. And there are 4 different pins here, featuring Lucifer, Jack and Gus, Cinderella, and the carriage. Beautiful open edition pins, released on May 20th. And I think I just saw they are having a Raya and the Last Dragon release coming up here, I believe on Saturday. Next, we'll head over to Shanghai Disney Resort. They are gearing up for summertime with Duffy's Summer Fun 2021 pin series. There was a mystery pin collection that features 8 different pins. You have Duffy and Friends in pool rafts. And then there was a booster pin set. Looks like little lanterns with ribbons on the top and dangle elements at the bottom. That features Duffy Bear, Shelly May, Cookie Ann, and Olu Mel. Also at Shanghai Disneyland were 2 beach-themed pin sets. The first one features Mickey and Minnie. Minnie is dressed as a mermaid, and Mickey is snorkeling with his captain's hat on. The next set features Donald Duck and Daisy Duck, and Daisy is a mermaid as well, both of them hanging out on the beach. All right, and now for the new pin releases at Disney Parks in America. Like I said, there were a ton of them. Before we get into that, though, I want to quickly mention a new Run Disney pin that was given to participants in the Star Wars Virtual Half Marathon. That was from January through end of March, and I think it was just sent out to participants. It features the Death Star and is a replica medal. But now into the new limited edition pins. First, we're going to start off with Walt Disney World. The second annual pass holder quarterly series pin released, and this one features Ariel. And I was confused at first because whenever you open it up, it has Cinderella on the inside. But I think this is going to feature the mosaics from inside the castle when you walk through Cinderella Castle. I'm not sure why Ariel's on the front of this one, but I guess they're just featuring different Disney characters. It's limited edition of 3,000 with a retail price of $19.99. I do have it here on the pin board behind me if you guys are watching this on YouTube, right next to the first release, which is Maleficent's Dragon. And then the Cruella live action pin released at Walt Disney World this week. That one released last week at Disneyland and last week at ShopDisney.com. All right, and now for the Disneyland exclusives. Tons of It's a Small World pin releases. First up is the 5th release in the Cuckoo for Disney Pins collection. This is the Cuckoo Clock pins. This one features It's a Small World. Limited edition of 3,000, retail price $19.99. Available on Tuesday, May 25th, just like all of these ones I'm going to be mentioning. Next up is a Small World 55th pin featuring all of the goodbye signs from the attraction. This pin has a nice translucent feel. Limited edition of 2,000, retail price $19.99. Next up is a annual pass holder exclusive. Features the front of the attraction. At the top it reads Around the World, and then pass holder at the bottom. That's limited edition of 3,000 with a retail price of $19.99. Next up, there were 2 single pins. The first one featuring children in a boat with the It's a Small World attraction logo. This one is a limited release with a retail price of $15.99. Next up features the, looks like he's the Western boy. Limited edition of 3,000 on this one, $19.99 retail price. And then next up there are 2 pin sets featuring 2 pins on a card. Both of these are limited edition of 2,000 with a retail price of $19.99. Then there was a jumbo pin, or you can consider it a mini jumbo. This one is limited edition of 1,500 with a retail price of $29.99. And that one is the outside of the attraction. It looks like there's a little hinge door at the bottom that reads 55th anniversary on it. And then next there was a super jumbo pin, all with a gold tone finish. And it reads, "It's a Small World, 55th anniversary" in the center. And I heard the back of the pin has the lyrics from the song etched into it. So that's pretty cool. This one is limited edition of 1,000 with a retail price of $100. So those are all of the It's a Small World pin releases at Disneyland. There were 9 of them. And now we'll get into the shared pin releases. First up, you have the Disney Pixar Cars 15th anniversary. The first pin features Mater and Lightning McQueen in front of Flo's V8 Cafe. This is a pin-on-pin design. Limited edition of 3,000 with a retail price of $19.99. And then next was an annual password exclusive. And I love the backer card for this pin because it features the cozy cone. Pin-on-pin design on this one, and it reads annual pass holder in the background. Limited edition 3,000, retail price $19.99. And then there were 3 Loki pins that released at Disneyland. Like I mentioned during the Shop Disney segment, one of these already released online, but then there were 2 others in this series that released at Disneyland for a total of 3. And these aren't at Walt Disney World yet, so they didn't make their way on the East Coast. But all 3 are a limited release with a retail price of $15.99. And then we get into the open edition pins. Some of these released at ShopDisney.com online, others here at Walt Disney World, and then some at Disneyland as well. Just keep an eye out for them. They should be popping up at both Disney parks. First up is the Brother Bear pin set. I know this was a popular one. It's open edition. Retail price is $15.99. I spotted this one on a Saturday at Disney Springs. Next up is an Oliver and Company pin set featuring Dodger and Oliver. $15.99 retail price on this one. Again, spotted at Disney Springs. And I heard it was also out at Disneyland, California. Next is a Mickey Mouse Icon American Flag pin. This one released online at Shop Disney, but will be coming to Disney parks as well. Open edition, retail price $9.99. Then there was a pin that reads Peace, Love, and Mickey. This popped up online at Shop Disney, again releasing in parks soon. Open edition, retail price $9.99. And then there was a new open edition pin featuring Yacht Club Resort at Walt Disney World. This one should only be at Walt Disney World though. I don't think it's going to be online or over at Disneyland since it's a Walt Disney World hotel. But it's a nice new one there. Mickey holding the ship wheel with the lighthouse in the background. And then there were 2 new 101 Dalmatian pins. These popped up online at Shop Disney, but I also spotted them here at Walt Disney World, and I think they're out at Disneyland as well. First one features Pongo and Perdita with a heart-shaped background and little bones in the heart. Retail price for that one is $12.99. And then there was a pin featuring Lucky the pup from 101 Dalmatians. Open edition, $9.99 retail price on that one. And then lastly is the Father's Day 2021 pin. This one features Princess and the Frog. It's limited release with a retail price of $15.99. That one released online at ShopDisney.com on May 17th, but it will be in the parks shortly as well. Alright, so I think that's going to do it for all of the pin news. Like I said, there have been a ton of new pin releases at Disney parks, and a lot of them are appearing online. There are some exclusive here to Florida, and then some exclusive to Disneyland. So I'll leave a link below to the blog post for the week 4 pin post, which has most of these releases in it. Photos and details of all of them in case you missed anything. Or you can hit up DisneyPinNews.com and it'll take you to the blog section where all of the news is located. Thank you guys very much for watching and listening to episode number 213 of the DPB Podcast. Hope everyone has a great rest of your week and happy Memorial Day. Have a great weekend. See ya.